Welcome to the 5 at 5. And if you know anything about me, you'll know I absolutely, like any decent human being, hate Man United. So it gives me great pleasure to bring you this edition of 5 at 5, Arsenal 3, Man United 1. Point number one, Thomas Partey's injury. So it's very interesting the way all of this broke. All the talk on the match day before kickoff was about this. And you know what? I had mixed emotions about it because on one hand, Thomas Partey, obviously we know he's a very, very talented player. But because he's been playing right back so far this season for Arsenal and doing that sort of inverted job, I'm not convinced, I have to be honest. And I think that Man United all week would have been looking at Arsenal thinking, where is their weakness? Where are our strengths? Where can we get at them? And for me, Rashford versus an inverted Thomas Partey was sort of an obvious area where they were going to target us. So, interestingly, from what I know, the news broke from the Ghana FA, not from Arsenal or not domestically in this country. And it broke sort of, when it was too late to really change anything for Man United. I would not be surprised if Ghana have played ball with Arsenal and only mentioned the news at a time when it sort of suits Arsenal, just to keep everything happy. Now, given that, we went back to our back four from last season, which is what so many of us have been begging for. Ben White, Gabriel Saliba, and Zinchenko doing the job on the inverted side, on the left-hand side. And look, I think we're better off for it. Let me know how you view this injury. I said before the game, I think it's better for the 90 minutes, but obviously not better long term. Hopefully he comes back nice and quick and, perhaps good timing with the international break. I've heard different reports about how long he's out for. So hopefully it's not too long and he can come back and do the job that Arsenal kind of need him to do rather than this weird experiment that Arteta's doing with him going right back and Zinchenko not playing at all. So let me know your thoughts about the injury and whether you think Arsenal are a better side with the back four we saw against Man United yesterday. Number two, now I spoke about Kai Havertz, my match reaction after the game yesterday, but his game by numbers does not make for pretty reading. Sometimes you think a player's played really, really well or perhaps really played really badly, and then you realise perhaps there's parts of their game that you didn't notice. Like, for example, Martin Odegaard yesterday, I thought he had a brilliant game. He actually had a worse pass completion rate than Kai Havertz. So certain things take you by surprise. But unfortunately for Kai Havertz, the numbers don't lie either. The eye test and the numbers match up. He had a bit of a stinker. He only had 33% of his duels that he won. He his only 22 successful passes in the entire game. One error that led to a goal. He went down for the penalty that we thought we were going to get instead of driving at goal. And I think for me that's symptomatic of his confidence or his lack of confidence at the moment. If you are confident, then you take that and you go on and get that shot off on goal. So unfortunately, it just hasn't worked for him. But the international break is here now. When we come back, it will be very, very interesting to see whether Arteta sticks with Kai Havertz or goes for a Trossard or even a Fabio Vieira, who I thought again came on and made a difference yesterday. But word of warning, stick by Kai Havertz. The team has got an unbelievable togetherness. I think you can see that in the way they celebrate, the way they play together, and the fans need to make sure that we're not scapegoating anyone or getting on anyone's back. Yes, the whole stadium wanted Kai Havertz to come off yesterday, but we need to keep on supporting him. Other players have taken longer than 3 games to get onto some form. Martin Odegaard didn't set the ground alight when he first joined. I'll never forget Santi Cazorla, Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira. No one would have guessed that they were going to do as well as they did if they just looked at their first 3 games. Fingers crossed, Kai Havertz does the business, even though right now, I admit, it's not looking. Number 3, and I had to just chuck this one in there, Bukayo Saka has broken Arsenal's record for consecutive Premier League games, beating Paul Merson's number of 82. So that was Saka's 83rd. And look, what can you say about Bukayo Saka? Is impossible not to like. One of those people that I think fans of even rival clubs will accept that, yeah, they love him. He's just seems like a really, really decent guy. Annoyed me yesterday that he got his yellow card. I'm not sure exactly why he got his yellow card. He was fouled. Perhaps he asked the referee to book the player that fouled him, and that meant he got a yellow card. It was a bit frustrating, but hey, Bukayo Saka, what a way to break the record, to beat Man United 3-1. Well played. Number 4, Gabriel, you beauty. Like, listen, obviously, naturally, all the talk is going to be about Declan Rice. But that moment from Gabriel, the bravery to do what he did to trap Garnacho offside. And listen, when people say, oh, you're lucky, it was so close, it's not luck. Gabriel got it right. Simple as that. It might be very, very fine margins. It might be very close. But when a player scores top bins, they get praised for their accuracy, putting that ball right in that top bins area. No one then says, oh, it went posting in, so you're lucky. They praise the accuracy. So on the defensive side of things as well, that's what I'm going to do with Gabriel. He got it bang on. Obviously, at that stage of the game, knowing that if you get it wrong and concede, Man United are probably going to go and win the game. It would have been easier for him to run backwards and, not do the brave thing that he did. And even then, if he does run backwards and try and catch Garnacho, he might give away a foul, might get sent off. Garnacho might still go on and score. So what he's done, he's gone all in, and he's done it perfectly. Moments like that, they make the difference. You felt the boost in the stadium when that got disallowed. You saw the Man United celebrations, their away fans, their players on the pitch. So you know it would have hit them hard. It would have been crushing. They knew they're not going to get another chance like that because we dominated them. All down to Gabriel having the bravery, the awareness to come back and jump to keep Garnacho offside. And he did it brilliantly. Hopefully, we see Gabriel week in, week out, because I think he's a brilliant defender. And honestly, the whole experiment with Partey and Ben White, like I spoke about earlier, is just not for me. I just want to see our best back four. And that, for me, always includes Gabriel. Number 5, the lovely, lovely tears of Erik ten Hag. He has lost the plot. His comments after the game saying that Arsenal were lucky and, complaining about Højlund should have had a penalty. He even went and said that Garnacho was onside. Like, what are you talking about? This is not subjective. This is just a case of they're drawing the lines on the pitch. That's it. You can't argue with that. But he obviously cannot take the defeat. I hope this defeat has hit him and hit Man United hard. And just to sweeten it all, Ten Hag and Sancho are having a public spat on Instagram about why Sancho wasn't picked. It's lovely. Give me more and more chaos at Man United. Inject it into my veins whilst Arsenal go on a title run, hopefully. Arsenal, thank you very much for making it a brilliant weekend. Thank you for joining for this 5 at 5. Into the international break we go. Some big games to come back to when we come back from the international break, but at least we can end on a high and enjoy the time off. Even though it's boring as hell, it's a lot worse if you lose. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Take care and see you next time.